Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Dr. Jeff C. May. Welcome to another episode of Doctor's Orders, the advice you should actually take. In this episode, I'm so excited to talk about something I don't talk about a whole lot. Football and or sports. Although I love sports, but I got to give a shout out to all you Minnesota Vikings fans out there. And considerably, I could be considered a Vikings fan, but with some exciting things happening this season in true Minnesota sports fashion, I could not help but think about the analogies, how the crossover into what we watch on Sundays, if you're watching those football games, to what it's like in actual real life. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about that there's an offense and there's a defense, and both are crucially important, and there is a never-ending conversation. Let me repeat, there is a never-ending conversation among sports fans and people who sit and talk about, and they'll say, well, the defense has to get better this year. The offense has to get better this year. The line needs better protection, but our secondary, and there's all this terminology and all those things. So what's the most important? What is the most important when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings? Let's just keep it on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm kind of wearing, I know most of you guys can't see it. I got kind of like a purplish shirt on today. But what's more important, the offense or the defense? And immediately you'll have your reasons why both of them are needed. And why am I talking about that? Why have I brought in to this sacred space called Doctor's Orders? Why have I brought in Minnesota football? Because it can be frustrating. If you're a Minnesota football fan, you know it's been an up and down battle. And they are still searching for that ring, for that championship. And so what's more important, the offense or the defense? Here's why I bring this up in this episode, and I hope it hits you where the good Lord split you, is because when we have this terminology in healthcare, when we talk about offense and defense in healthcare, we got to understand there's both. There's both. And a lot of times in a prevention type of healthcare and saying, okay, we're moving forward, I've got my opinions too. And so what I'm going to share with you is my opinions, my reasons. I'm going to give you my points of reference and my talking points in around why I believe you should start to shift your healthcare into a more offensive mode than defensive. Because inevitably, just like in the game, the defense is there to prevent the other team from winning. And so if we have this, the defense is there to prevent bad things from happening. The other team scoring on you, losing, that feeling of defeat. And in the United States, we have an emergency healthcare system, like that part of healthcare that prevents bad things. Hopefully, like when things go really, really bad, that you break your arm. Like my son, he broke his arm here weeks ago now, and playing soccer, and it happens. We didn't see it coming. It was unexpected, and thank goodness for the medical centers because we could go in and they got casted and he did all those things. He protected that injury. And so when you think about it, that side of healthcare is needed. But the problem is you can't just have one side of healthcare. You really, really can't. And you don't really, really, really want to rely on your defense in a football game. Like, it's good that they're there, but at the end of the day, offense is what scores points. Now, defense can score points too. I get it. Let's not get too far in the weeds. What I'm trying to tell you is if you don't go on offense with your health, you're always going to have your back up against the wall, feeling like you're trying to keep things at bay, to go in and just hold and protect. And trust me, anybody who's watched sports for a long time, they don't want to count on the defense that much. They want that offense to be highlighted. They want that offense to be healthy. They want it to be explosive and put points on the board. And so what do we really have like that? And unfortunately in the U.S., we don't get taught this. We don't get shared with this. This is why I'm sharing it with you today. I'm so excited because in this short episode, how can you go on offense? It's the things you can do. It's the world I live in. It's called chiropractic healthcare. It's a healthcare system. It's a success strategy for a healthy life, healthier, happier, more productive. You hear me talk about this endlessly. And ultimately, your nervous system determines the communication in your body. The communication in your body determines your ability to adapt to stress, which inevitably we all get exposed to. You see, nerve irritation, subluxation, whatever you want to call it, that nerve irritation leads to breakdown in communication, and you just don't react as quick. Your body doesn't function as well, and ultimately you are put at a disadvantage. And so why wouldn't you want to have somebody on your healthcare team looking right? The coach on the side, this is kind of the role I take, the coach, and saying, hey, what's the overview? How well is the communication happening in your body right now? My job isn't to fix the broken bone. My job is to say, hey, you know what? Let's make sure the communication from above, down, inside, out, the brain, inside, down through the spinal cord, out through your body and back and forth is as clean and clear as possible. The simplest part of healthcare is a proactive offense that puts you in a place where most people don't even realize, because we're never taught this. We're taught to, when do you go to the doctor? When you're sick. And so when we actually put in place an offensive strategy that says, hey, I'm going to go on a productive, proactive schedule and make sure I'm doing healthy things. I'm going for a walk. I'm getting salt water. Yes, minerals in my water, and to be more hydrated. I'm cutting out refined sugars. I'm cutting out processed foods from my diet. I'm staying away from the middle of the grocery store where it's absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. The cheap, fast, easy will leave you sick, overweight, and tired. That's period, end of story. Hands down, 16 years of practice, over 100, probably 200,000 patient visits by myself at this point, one-on-one. Let's let alone Dr. Tyler and all the other amazing people here at Advantage Health Center. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to wake up and go on offense. If I was your coach and this was a halftime speech and you say you're halfway through your life, you may be sitting on 35, you may be sitting on 40, you may be sitting on 50, wherever you hit this or younger, I'm telling you that the first half of your life, the first half of the game may not went according to plan. There may have been things you had to audible and change out of, and it may not necessarily be the score we want to see, but the game isn't over yet. Wake up. There's still an entire half to play, and how you start is going to determine how you finish. So we got to come out the second half. We got to come out on fire. We got to put some points on the board. You have to get proactive. Nobody's going to do it for you. As much as I want to as your coach, I can sit here, yell, scream, stomp, kick, spit, snort, whatever it may be, but you got to run the play. It's up to you. Like the best coach in the world can't run out on the field and do it for the player. And I'm telling you, you're the player in your life. You're the player in your life. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit back on the couch and let sitting be the new smoking in your life? Filling yourself full of sugar, saying, what if? I'm too tired. I'm too tired. Or it's too expensive. I don't have enough time. You're going to let some story come in and rob you of your future? Are you kidding me? The ball is in your hands. Wake the heck up. I'm getting fired up here, just here. Like, listen, I've got coaches in my life that get me fired up, that refocus me when I need it. It's time you go on offense with your health. And we can't sit back and hope the Minnesota Vikings win a Super Bowl when you're in control and literally 80% of deaths are lifestyle choices. That means the choices we make day in, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out matter. Your life matters. You have a purpose. You may be married. You may have kids. You may have grandkids. Let me clue you in. They're watching. They're watching you. And they're going to do what you do and not always do what you say. And so many people want to scroll through Instagram and see the highlight reel of everybody else. And in their head, they rob themselves of joy because they're comparing their life to everybody else's. That six pack, I'm never going to have all that other bull crap. I'm telling you right now, if you just drop that, stop scrolling and go for a walk. You sit there and you stop comparing your bloopers to everybody else's highlight reel. Listen, they got problems too. But understand, if there's somebody you look at, I have people come to me and say, oh, you're lucky. Luck doesn't exist. I'm going to say that again. Luck does not exist. And so when you go through and people are like, oh, I want to have what you have in terms of health. Okay, that's fine. I want that for you too. But are you willing to do what it takes to get there? So many people want to have what other people have, but they're unwilling to do what that person had to do. So if you're not willing to do what they do, you are not entitled to have what they have. And so you got to think about that. This is all about action. I want the phone lines in the office to be slammed packed with new patients saying, hey, I want a coach like that. You know what? Because we're really good coaches around here. We get amazing results. And everybody should have a chiropractor on their health team, period, end of story. I don't care if you had a bad experience once. Everybody out there has had a bad experience at a restaurant, but they still eat. They still go out to eat. So don't give me that bull crap. So I want to encourage you today, how can you go on offense with your life? And if you're unsure of the playbook, you need a consultation. You need to sit down with the coach. And that's what I'm telling you to do. That's your doctor's orders. Find a good chiropractor in your area. Find those things. Get fired up about your health. You're not getting any younger. You're not getting any younger. Listen, in the 10 minutes I've been talking to you, you can take action. It takes less than that to schedule an appointment. So I want to encourage you, no matter where you guys are listening at, do something. Go on offense. Realize that offense is the solution when it comes to healthcare. I'm grateful for a defense. I'm grateful that we had people that could cast my son's arm when he broke it. But I also know it can't stop there. You cannot sit back and expect to win. You need to lean forward, tighten up those bootstraps, lock down that chin strap, put that mouth guard in, focus on where you want to go. Nobody's coming to save you, you guys. Those are your doctor's orders. Get up there, get out of there. Remember, it's just halftime. It's a get to, not a have to. I love and appreciate you guys. Make sure it's a healthier, happier, and more productive day. We'll talk soon.